Okay, there we go, Chris.
Thank you for all responding to my invitation. I am always experimenting. I would love feedback on some of my ideas. I would love groups to help prototype some of my presentations. I expect all of you have the same situation. I mean, it's an Agile thing, right? So I guess I can start with one and everybody else can pitch in with theirs. So I am in transitioning to be a supervisor of an Agile group. It's not an executive level, it's multiple teams kind of size. And I am proposing having this cross Agile team development effort of having a challenge to try, an experiment to try every month. One of them I plan to propose is telling your boss that you disagree with them and why. Because I believe this group is very nice to each other and you don't hear the real thing. So I'd love to hear your feedback. I want to have them pitch ideas for experiments too. And the idea is for them to propose things that are easy to fit in, but are likely to improve how they're working overall.
Chris, if I can summarize your experimentation, is it about cross-functioning of the team within itself or with others within itself?
So this would be cross several teams.
Okay, okay. And the second one is about disagreeing with your boss. So building up the courage.
That is a specific example, challenging people to do that. You know, if it's difficult, once during the month. If it's easy, maybe every week.
So, Chris, so sorry to jump in. What problem are we trying to solve here?
That particular one is unspoken opinions.
So when you say unspoken opinions, are we saying here people are not coming forward to express their views?
I don't believe they are psychologically safe.
So it's a mindset. We are trying to transform a cultural mindset here, if I'm not wrong, isn't it?
Yes.
And Chris, when you say they are not psychologically safe, what gives you that impression?
That they are overly polite.
You mean, honestly, you mean they're pretending to be something that what they're not.
Yes.
Okay.
And the people don't even share the things in retrospectives, what I feel. The exact thought process they want to share, but they are afraid of things or what exactly they are into, but they are not able to express those things.
That would be normal. That would be if they had retrospectives more often, but yes, I believe that would be a problem.
I guess this is because of the fear of failure or people judging if something is wrong. If I say something wrong, then people will laugh at me or kind of that. Maybe because of that, they're not, or they're skeptical of experimenting. Yes.
And Chris, have you tried to map their mental models? Like where do they stand, and like why the team is being seen? An overtly very polite team. Well, I am yet to get one, but since you have got one, I'm a bit curious on the mix of people that are there. Are they very junior, or it's a good mix of junior, senior, or the characteristics? What is the mix of the people that is there?
I don't think there are very many very junior, so mid-career on up. Several have probably retired and come back.
Oh, okay.
Chris,
Yes.
have you heard of a concept called empathy mapping?
I have. You recommending this?
Yeah, would try because there's no harm in giving a try.
Okay, hey Chris,
Mhm.
just wanted to ask you, the hypothesis is that you think that people are psychologically unsafe, and that you would like to validate, right, by asking the tough questions to their boss, or at least getting the problems visible to the entire company or the entire team. So, what I would suggest, initially people might not talk, openly or directly, something anonymous, where people could pose their questions, or bring things onto surface would be a great place to start, so that at least we know how big is the monster we are dealing with, and what kind of monster, so you can get some trends. Since a lot of people might be resonating with the same question. They are, maybe it could be rewards and recognition, maybe it's team dynamics, or anything or everything. You will at least see some pattern, and I believe that would be a good place to start with, in my humble opinion. But yeah.
Yeah, I totally
Chris,
agree with you, Manjari.
Chris.
I faced a similar scenario in one of my accounts that I was working with as well, Chris, where uh, the the main cause at the end of the project, which we when we did a retrospective and we actually spoke about it, why was it that the good ideas they came towards the end of the project, they were not bubbling up in the beginning, and people did not feel that they would be first of all, they didn't feel that being a junior developer their idea would probably be shut down by a senior manager or somewhat in a similar role, or if they have to propose something they'll be the one driving it. So the idea generator becomes the idea driver, and that is a push that I've faced or I have seen in other organizations as well. So, as Manjiri suggested, I think where maybe it can be an anonymous kind of wiki page where you can start asking them to collate their ideas, and just as a group you can discuss about them, or you can probably connect with much more smaller groups, like just connect with the developers first if it's a tech team, or just connect with smaller groups rather than having a supervisor present in that area. And once you know what are the types of challenges or the ideas that are budding inside their heads, you can encourage them to get onto the larger or the bigger scale and present to that group.
Thank
I
you.
also, one other thing that I think works, at least I've seen it works for me, is that having a one-to-one conversation with each of them. So so they are not very big teams. If you are talking of agile teams, so they're a very small group of people. Talking to them one-to-one to figure out, or to at least understand what state of mind or what mind space they are in, and try to align people with similar mind spaces, and then take out for maybe. So we used to do, when this virtual world was not there, we used to do this coffee thing, chai outside. So those informal meetings. In virtual world, what I have tried is some fun games, which is not related to work, a timeout. So that might help.
Yeah, what I feel that one-to-one is the best one, which I used to try a lot many times, was that gives us a best output. They feel a comfort zone. They don't just scatter over here and there. They just listen what exactly being asked, and they reply to that in a true manner.
Right.
So this is a very good experience I do have.
But what if they are not psychologically safe to talk on a one-to-one
Yeah,
setting?
very true. If they are not, yes, you can't get lot much of that,
Correct.
no doubt. But what I do is I prefer, we have a head of people over there who is so I ask him to just coordinate with the guy or whatever the issue is, and that moment he used to coordinate with him one to one, and he tried to pull out the things where he feels that there's a psychological safety in between them, because being a head of people, they're just supporting them.
Yeah.
So we've discussed my experiment for quite a while. Does somebody else have one we can discuss?
Okay, so I am doing I have an hypothesis, okay? And I'm trying to experiment on it. I do not know how successful I'll be or what will happen with that. I'm trying it with a group of leaders, not very high up, maybe middle management, and they're having conflicts of territorial conflicts, if I might say so. So it's kind of a bit political down there, and as a result, the products are suffering. So I was trying to see that if there is a common ground, if there is a way to generate a conversation where we can come to a common ground where the territories do not matter, and each can get that pie of credibility or the growth that they are looking for or their expectation out of this entire scenario, at least fulfilled to a great extent, maybe not 100%, so some accommodation and compromise in between. So I'm trying to figure out ways to do it. Conversations, yes, but me having just a single conversation with each of these leaders is not going to work the way I want. So I think I will be happy to hear some ideas there.
So you are trying to coach them, or what?
Yeah, I am trying, but yeah, leaders being leaders, so they already are in a mind space that they are coaches, so it's a bit
Chris,
different.
yeah, thank you. So Chris, what I've done in my current organization was I started, I joined the organization a year ago. When I first started, what I did with my teams was I didn't do anything. Initially, I didn't do anything. I was just observing them and was just trying to figure out the ways to gain trust from the team. And one of the things what I did was I tried identifying what are the issues that are running in their heads. And when I knew the issues, even though I know that I couldn't resolve them, I couldn't provide a complete solution, I told them I will try fixing the solution, but I can't promise it. I'm not going to promise anything. So what I did was when I figured out the issues, I kept them in the loop. I made those issues more visible and transparent. I escalated to the next level. I showed them that I'm trying to help them. I'm trying to resolve the issues. So the first thing what I did was I tried getting the trust from them. So when I started fixing these issues, the team started trusting me. The team started opening up with me. And it took me a long while. It didn't happen overnight. I'm with the team for a year now. So if I compare where the team was maybe a year ago and today, they are much, much, much better. And so we are still in this transformation. What can you do to gain the trust from the people that you're working with? And I think that that's the key thing we should really be focusing on. How do you gain trust from the people? How do you gain trust with the teams that you work on? What can you do to get their trust?
I think, hi, this is Shweta here, and I have applied, to gain trust of my team. And what I did was, I just tried to interact with each and every person individually and get to know about their pain points. And then I just prioritized these pain points and I tried resolving those pain points. So
Correct.
the moment we started, addressing to these pain points, maybe one or two, I started gaining that confidence and trust from the team.
Correct.
What happened? Whatever kind of issue they are facing, they don't hesitate to give me a call and talk about their fears, their issues, their impediments, whatever, which is very, has worked out very, very well for me. And then over a period of time, I learned, why don't we make it a regular practice, and why don't we, instead of talking to the individuals, why don't we collaborate the team members on this? So I started regularly conducting this retrospective. At least I conduct the retrospective separately. At team level, I do that separately, and I make sure that there is no of different roles into that retrospect, because that is again a psychological safety to those people. Suppose we have developers forum, then I just do small retrospective just of 30 minutes once in a week or once in a sprint, and that gives really confidence to them, and they feel very safe to discuss about any challenges which they face. So it's worked out very well in my
So
case.
that is what I did. So I tried different ways of identifying the pain point. One of the ways was this empathy mapping, Chris.
That's the key, right? Unless you empathize with people, you will not be able to, feel their pain. And unless you feel their genuinely and authentically, you will not be able to solve it, right?
You need to show them.
Yes,
you need to
of
show
course.
Them that we feel the empathy and we identify their pain points. We are trying to help them fix those pain points. Until then, we can't get that trust. So probably, those are the couple of things which I've done similar to you. It took me a year. Now there are a couple of individuals who still they are still in the transformation of that.
One of the best things, of being a consultant or a coach from a third party or whatever, you're not part of the organization, right? So you don't have any hidden agenda behind any of the things which you do. So I made it really very clear that I'm a neutral person in this organization, and I'm not here to please everybody, not the management. So I, whoever trusts me, that is fine. Otherwise, over a period of time, when they see the difference, they will certainly trust me. So that is the kind of mentality I go ahead with, and it has worked out very well.
Excuse me, are there other ideas out there?
Or
I'm just thinking Palomi can get in touch with both of you offline to get more details. I'd love to hear other
Sure. I landed with a client which was full of impediments, and because they were not agile, they were organization, one of the top leading insurance company in India. So I think whatever I started learning from various conferences and from various creators and leaders.
Sorry to interrupt, Sweta.
Yeah.
Chris was actually suggesting we both of us give an opportunity for the rest of the audience to speak. I think probably is that what you said, Chris? Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, Sweta.
So one thing that helped me, this is Regit here. So one thing that helped me was when the team was not able to resolve many of the impediments and they were having the communication gap. One thing that helped was creating a transparent impediment board so that instead of being I in a role of facilitating to get them be the evaluation. So that helped me to see that team getting a confidence of bringing up the problem themselves. One thing is creating a visible and transparent space for these problems. It could be a wiki, it could be a Excel where they can directly put it. No need to wait for somebody to prompt, and then facing for them. That is what helped more for me in one of the scenario.
Yeah, Srijit, I second on that opinion to make things very visible to people, and that will help. And coming to the question that Polomi asked regarding the leadership, it's more of a coaching of the leadership. I think Manjri wants to add here. Manjri, I'll take just a few seconds. So I think coaching the leadership that would help. It's more of a knowing their pain points on a frequent basis. You have to have more meaningful conversations and exactly pinpoint conversations focusing which special area or specific area they are looking for improvement and looking for value out of it. Because it's not a one-time activity that you will give 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes and then they will come up telling you that we want a solution for this problem. So it might take you a little more effort to exactly jump onto or put a pen on a specific problem that they are looking for a solution for, and it can be many of them. It's not sure if they must be aiming at one problem or two. Definitely, it's so. What I did is I try to have quick sessions. We were using Microsoft Teams specifically when not engaged with the team. I took 5 minutes of time and we used to have quick one-to-one sessions with R&D leaders and stakeholders to know what is the pulse of what is the actual pulse, what is the actual mood they are working in. Are they happy enough? Specifically divide things kind of a happiness index that will give you a localized area in which they specifically are looking for some solution for them. So kind of a happiness index would help, which I tried and that worked a little for me. So you can also try that a little. Broadly slicing the things into different heads so that you can pinpoint and ask them to pinpoint which specific area they are looking for the solution.
So in that
Thank
case,
you.
from those pain points, you want me to get that common ground, right? So my problem is getting them into a common ground. Okay, great, thank you.
Exactly. Yes.
To add to that, first of all, follow me. I feel your pain. I know middle management is little, and they have to unlearn and learn new ways of working, right? So first of all, as a new coach, I just try to build some credibility of my own work. Before going and start coaching somebody mindset and all. First do little ones like process and everything else, where you can show some of your credibility and people see value in your work. Secondly, next go into the mindset pass and coaching. Even the language matters. Follow me. Using the inclusive language, right? I would not say I'm here to coach you. I would say I'm here to align with you on certain things. Be happy in the small wins, right? Have a backlog. Don't try to engage and attack everything. I know as a coach it's very difficult to see a lot of anti patterns and not go after all. But have some small alignments on small things. Have a particular cadence to revisit, and it is, again, you have to set up a cadence. You have to meet them more often than not, because it's not a one time thing. You have to continuously work on building relationship, building the alignment. And yeah, and I'm also learning, so probably we can discuss more. It's hard.
Yeah,
It's
Manjari,
hard,
I'll
definitely, yes.
Good luck to you.
thank you. No, I know I have been through these pains multiple times, but still every time the pain is new. So
Yeah,
thank you, Manjari and
and you
Sarir,
could also
for
use the influence of the senior leadership. Okay, if they are already aligned, using somebody's else influence also helps, because everybody is talking the same language. From all sides can help you align with them better.
Yeah, third empire vision definitely supports. So if you are lucky and find somebody sitting at third party or third level who can interrupt, because people generally understand more person who is not in the scene and not directly abide by your rules and regulations. So that is one good try you can make.
Okay, tempted to talk just one more time. Just if Chris, you will let me.
Sure.
Just very small. Use the COE as well. Talking as a group has a bigger impact than talking as a one person. So community of practice, have a voice.
Yeah, that is one thing that I'm already trying. And thank you all for giving me those ideas. Thank you so much.
So are there other new radical ideas, or are we ready to move on to somebody else's experiment?
Just one point to add, maybe for Palami, did you try any design thinking? It may not be for a full cycle of design thinking, maybe a small slice of it to see whether they are able to align on the problem space.
Uh, uh, Srijit, it's more towards their territorial stuff. It's like whose territory it is going. So for them to even visualize where the product is lying is currently a problem. Okay, so it's a intersection of two products where they are bringing out a solution, and who will do what. That's clarified, but they have to collaborate. And that collaboration is not coming out as effectively as it should because of other aspirations, I would say so. So yes, the organization that I'm talking about is just going through transformation. So for them, it's a bit difficult to come out because their hierarchical thing has not gone out completely. So it's there. And it's always like, who is the best in front of the boss? But it's not. It's what's best for the product. So that thought process is probably what is the hindrance here and what I'm trying to break.
So so just close it there another 5 seconds. So do the end users have a say in this problem statement? That may be another thing to look
Can
at.
I ask you to take this discussion to chat and we hear from another experiment, please? Because I don't think you're going to stop thinking about this problem. I won't ask that. But who else has an experiment?
One point here, before we go to other experiment, here is a time check. We have less than 9 minutes left. Please continue.
Sure.
এটা টেবিলে কি অসুবিধা হবে একটু লেখি সুবিধা হবে
You can mute or not.
তুমি বলো টেবিলে কি অসুবিধা টেবিলে কি সুবিধা
So because we got 9 minutes here, probably let's take 1 minute per person to explain their experiment.
Interesting. Okay, go. I did one already. I pass it to...
I've done mine as well. I'll go mute.
You passed it to me?
Yes, please.
Chris? Oh, so right now I've got a team who doesn't like to collaborate a lot. They have different silos. They work in, it's very traditional, and I'm a good fan of games. So I generally try to gamify things. So the problem is they don't do station as a group. They do it individually. So my hypothesis is I will probably go with one of the games, virtual online games I learned yesterday from, I forgot the name. So I learned one of the game where how to cook a rice and you have to draw. So it came out, everybody has shown the picture, which everybody has a different way of doing things and how they came onto the building. So just to make sure that everybody understand, there are so many ways to, for cooking the rice, there are so many different ways and different things that we might not know, right? And that is why to build a shared understanding, I am just using that as a game that I would be playing next week, so that people understand the value of shared understanding and how important estimation is, rather than a number, than a consensus of the understanding.
Yeah,
so,
your time's up, Manjari. Thank you.
I will pass on to Piyush. I didn't get time to think, right? So I was thinking when talking. So I will pass to
Who wanna go next?
Yeah.
That was a dry toast game.
Yeah, dry toast game, absolutely. Yeah. Piyush Modi,
Thank,
would you like to go next?
Thanks, Manjari. So for me, it's a simple three-step process that I mostly get good feedback on. At least it's working for me. One, not try to be an alien and someone who's trying to suggest right away that I'm here. You have to listen to me. So for me, it's more of being at the receptive end and try to have a common vision of the problems or the structure of the teams. Second, having a combined vision of where we as a group want to lead to, at least from the project perspective, if I have to put it like that. And then take that extra joy of each milestone that we achieve. And of course, when we face any impediments, solving and empowering teams to solve for it together so that they feel they are also part of the solution that we are trying to offer rather than I being a scrum master, my is the ultimate V to power. So I think these is the three simple steps uh, which keeps me going at least to the part where I come from.
oh, you're on track. 1 minute is up for you. Thanks, Fish. Who wanna go next?
I can go next. So it was a challenge regarding people not uh, attending the meetings. So the daily meetings and at times retro meetings people were missing. So kind of little innovation and try to conduct retro meetings outside and sometimes in a mall. So I try to do that uh, with uh, uh, with kind of little incentives, uh, a small token of love kind of thing. So that worked, and people started uh, taking interest over a little time, and that helped. But slowly and gradually, we try to restrain that activity to inside the organization. So once or twice, I did the experiment, and that was successful.
Thank you. Your time's up now. Uh, who wants to go next? No one? Yeah. No more experiments to share?
We still have 4 minutes left. So anyone?
You can go next. That's all right.
Already done. Yeah.
Hey guys, I can go next. So just this is something that I did in my previous organization. We were struggling with the time that the team was spending on backlog refinement, because we used to have one day dedicated, because that was how the entire portfolio which I was working with was structured, that one day during a week was focused on backlog refinement. So around 4 5 hours in a day, everybody would sit in a meeting room, wait for their turn of the stories for the next sprint, and just ruin the day for everybody. That was not surprisingly, the most work from home taken day, because folks would just log in and chill at home. Uh, I was very troubled by it. What we did was we broke it down. So we did like 1 hour meetings with focused groups throughout the weeks, uh, throughout the 2 weeks that we had the sprint for. And on the sprint planning call, when the new sprint would start, we would get everybody together and then just give them that time to. I mean, basically reduce the amount of time that you were spending just waiting for your turn to speak, because the product owner would take a lot of that time and it would become a one-to-all kind of a session. So I eliminated him from those individual discussions and got him in when all the stories were already in time. Worked well for my team. A couple of other scrum masters tried it in their team, didn't work. They switched back to the older version where they used to do a 5 hour one day in a 2 week sprint meeting. I guess we shared learnings and all, but I think it needed the push that I and my team. So I convinced my team. That's how it happened. I convinced my team separately, and then we pushed the PO to do it. Probably the other Scrum Masters and the other teams were not able to do that, so that didn't get implemented. After I left, my team was still doing the same thing. the new guy who came in and he's following that tradition now.
Thank you, Sajid. Even though you're overrun by 1 minute, your insights are very helpful. Thank you. So,
Okay. We are
Benefit
out
of
of
being the
time.
last person, right?
We have less than a minute, and I don't think
yeah,
anyone
we
can.
got 1 minute 40 seconds, isn't it?
Okay, then I'll go for the one last small experiment which we did. We are working in one of my development team. They had we had failed sprint and this I'm talking about 2 years back. I was working as a scrum master for the team, and what we did, we celebrated our failure rather than because the team was very demotivated because we could not meet the goal. And in the celebration, we actually did not talk about why we failed. We talked about what we can do different the next time so that we can achieve the goal. So and the very next sprint and henceforth I was lucky that my team never failed. So I think that worked to motivate the team. So yeah, that's
You're
it.
under 1 minute. Thank you, Deepa.
I had 40 seconds.
yeah, 40 seconds.
And Suresh, there's a question in chat out to you about a tool. And thank you all for coming. I've loved hearing the experiment. This is fun.
Yeah, it's called an empathy map, Chris.
Okay, empathy map. Right, Suresh. Thank you. Thank you.
Empathy mapping.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.